Elizabeth Warren will now be part of the Democratic leadership in the Senate. Hey, will you look at that? Okay, I know. Don't get too excited, right? Well, first of all, what's she going to do? Warren will help craft policy and messaging, and she'll be a liaison to liberal groups. Okay, so I'm amused by this. What they're basically doing is they're saying, okay, Elizabeth, we understand you're the only popular Democrat in the country, so we'd like to put you in a leadership position. By the way, I've been covering politics for about 20 years. I've never heard of this position. This position doesn't exist, okay? It's just made up. Like, oh yeah, I mean, she doesn't have any real power, but yes, liaison with liberal groups. There's a Senate leadership position that's a liaison with liberal groups. I think I would have heard of that since I know a decent amount of liberal groups. So anyway, they're like, oh yeah, pat on the head. Yeah, Elizabeth, yeah, we're totally with you. Yeah, of course, we want your popularity. We want your people who actually know that you're the only one who actually cares to come out and vote for those of us who don't care, who just take the campaign cash and play along. So, okay, it's a pat on the head. And they say she'll help craft policy. I believe that when I see it, and I hope that's the case. So yes, it's largely window dressing. But here's the thing about Elizabeth Warren. When you go to do window dressing with Elizabeth Warren, she often climbs through the window and into your house, which I find to be an awesome thing. So remember that how she got to be famous in the first place. She was just a Harvard law professor that nobody knew. Harry Reid appointed her to a board to analyze TARP, the bailouts, right? She did so well there, and then she took some initiative and said, you know, we should do this thing called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to actually protect the consumers from the banks that are doing all these things to take advantage of them. They're like, wow, that's such a great idea. And they created that as a whole new part of the federal government. And then she said, well, obviously, I mean, I should run it, right? And Obama was like, no, the Republicans don't like you. No, this was supposed to be window dressing, Elizabeth. Of course you're not allowed to run it. Go home, right? Clean up, go home, clean up, go home, right? Except she didn't go home. Well, she kind of did. She went home to Massachusetts and decided to run for Senate. And then they say, but you're running against Scott Brown, a very popular Republican, you know. Oh, guess what? She kicked his ass. And there she is, climbed through the window. She's in the Senate. And then she wound up on the Senate Banking Committee, which the banks were not happy about. And now she's kind of part of Democratic leadership. So even though I think it's BS and a way to pat liberals on the head and pretend they're listening to us when obviously they just ran an entire campaign structured around not listening to us, I'll take it and I'll be very happy with it because there is a reason why Elizabeth Warren is popular. She's smart, she's effective, and she gets the job done. So here comes Elizabeth Warren. And finally, people writing about this believe that this makes it less likely that she'll run for president because they say, well, look, she's got this important position in the Senate now, so she'll know her role and understand that her job is to now work for getting more Democratic senators elected and not go further than that. I don't think that she'll get that message. I don't think you've been paying attention to her career. And I say that in the most positive way. It's not because of ambition, it's because she actually wants to get the job done. So if you think that pat on the head is going to appease her and somehow get her to stop campaigning on a national scale for these ideas, I don't know if she's going to run for president. But I don't think this makes it less likely. We'll see. Run, Elizabeth, run.